Hello and welcome to At the Redline Podcast. My name is Alec. I'm a life coach. Love to work with salespeople. I have with me Jeremiah Divera. Um, Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Al. Good
Yeah,
to be here.
yeah. Um, I guess I want to say up front, if you like the content, subscribe, like, make a comment. Usually with a podcast, I kind of like to start in the beginning. What was it like to be small? Where were you raised? What was your family of origin? Siblings, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so for me, I was born in Spokane in 1995 and then kind of moved around quite a bit from there. So when I was a kid, I grew up in like the Diamond Lake area after birth. We moved down to Nevada in Mesquite, Nevada, so I think south of Vegas.
Yeah.
It's down there until I was about 8 or 9. Then we came back up into Spokane. So I actually lived in the Shadle Park area
Oh,
for a
no kidding.
while. Yeah.
Nice.
Was in Shadle for a little bit and
How
then
far from here?
just down on Queen.
No
Queen,
kidding.
Alberta. Yeah. Just a few blocks. So
Seriously, yeah.
yeah, we lived there for a while, and then after the house was egged and broken into once, we moved out to Diamond Lake again.
Uh-huh.
So I was in Newport for a while, and then family. I have two brothers, younger brothers. I'm the oldest, and then family kind of fell apart when I was around 10, and so by the time I was 13, I was actually living with a different family. One of my friends at school, they had taken me in, so I lived with them until I graduated high school, and then yeah, went from there.
Kind of a crazy childhood, huh?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you could say that.
Okay. Nice. I'm curious how that childhood. I had someone else on the podcast who said she was raised by kind of drug addicts and
Mhm.
alcoholics, And I was saying, I imagine that having that sort of childhood that's so chaotic and so unconventional would give you certain power, certain capabilities and
Mhm.
stuff. I wonder, looking back on your childhood, how do you feel like it's shaped you in a positive way?
Resilience. Um, I think when like to, I mean, let's just put it this way. Make it make sense. 7, 8 months ago, my own biological mother told her employer that I died in a car crash. So she could get a weekend off work. So the things that happened to me as a child are still ongoing to this day.
Wow.
Um, but w- resilience and kind of building that backbone,
Yeah.
I think now that could be taken in a negative way if you use it in that way. You can
Right.
kind of become too egotistical, a little selfish.
Right.
But I think if you look at it from like sometimes not everyone is acting in the right way. Maybe they have their
Yeah.
own issues going on.
Right.
You don't really know what's happening.
Yeah.
So if you take it from more of a loving way and build a resilient backbone of like, this is happening to me. These things do suck, but it's all, if I water this grass, I can make it green.
Yeah.
And
That's
looking
awesome.
at it through that lens.
I had a guy on the podcast and raised in a really, really difficult childhood. And he has a podcast now. He titled it Tragically Fortunate.
I
That
like that.
he attributes his fortune to the tragedy. That
Mhm.
his childhood, his raising, his upbringing, his parents, this sort of just insane childhood created in him this like super intelligent, really smart, very ambitious, like he's really artistic, he's got a brain, that really figures out numbers, and he just feels like, man, this crazy childhood has created within me something superpower,
Mhm.
and it's like going in the Marines, I think that when you go through that awfulness, that you come out with some, like you said, resilience
Mhm.
and abilities. That's great. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
I guess that leads me right into the first question: is how has struggle and difficulty created, maybe other than childhood, right?
Mhm.
Something that you think is transformative or part of who
Right.
you are, or how has trouble or even tragedy, or created something good,
Hmm.
within you?
Well, we could just jump right to the next tragic moment of my life with this. Try and answer it this way is so 11 years ago, I was mentioning prior to us hopping on here, I should have died. Um, actually suffered a traumatic brain injury from an assault, and to this day, I'm good. I don't have to go to the doctor. They thought I was going to be going to the doctor pretty regularly. I was on ICU for 5 days after the assault, and then they took me to St. Luke's Rehab on the South Hill in Spokane, and I
Wow.
was there for 30 days, learning how to walk, speak. Had nurses holding my hands, brushing my teeth, combing my hair. Um, and that was 11 years ago in July of 2015.
Wow.
And that kind of, I think that moment took everything that my childhood had done and then said, hold my beer, pretty much, because it was, I couldn't move my legs. I was learning how to walk. I was speaking, and just like at times it felt like I was speaking in tongues because people couldn't understand me and it wasn't clear and coherent. Um, and, you know, the assault happened at the family who took me in at one of their kids' houses. And so when you have the people that you think are the closest to you around you when that's happening, and then you get hurt that bad physically, it's hard to be like, oh my gosh, who's in my corner now?
Yeah.
Um, and so it was kind of a teaching moment of figuring out who's actually in my corner, but more so than that, like figuring out how much strength I actually have inside to get through this, because it was a long 30 days. But then it wasn't even that. It was, it's still to this day, like I don't have hearing in my right ear, 100% deaf in my right ear. I
Yeah.
can't get a hearing aid um, because I lost the 3 bones behind the eardrum. So for me, I'm like, I'm still learning how
Yeah.
that works, and letting people know, hey, I can't hear you on this side.
Yeah.
And just fighting through all that. But I think at the end of it, like it it taught me that, man, like you could be staring death in the face and that's still not going to get you to give up. What is going to make you give up? And at this point, I'm like, I haven't found anything yet.
That's
So
awesome.
it's
That's
like,
superpower.
yeah,
You
it's
realize
that,
that's superpower,
yeah,
right?
it's that moment of like, that I think there's like the biggest pain and like the weakest I've ever been in my life. And since then, it's kind of like, I always, I still think of like the little kids I saw in the hospital. I still think like, how are they doing? What are they doing? Hope
Yeah.
their life is great. I hope they're recovering just like I am. To this day, every Thanksgiving, me and my newborn, or not newborn, he's going to be 4 this year. We take a thank you card to the hospital
Yeah.
and give it to him every Thanksgiving, with a new photo of us together.
Which hospital did you say?
St. Luke's Rehab on the
St.
South
Luke.
Hill.
No, that was the rehab, but
Mhm.
what
The
hospital?
first one I went to was Holy Providence up here
Holy
by the
Family?
Holy Family
Yeah.
by the Northtown
And you
Mall.
stayed there until you moved to
Hmm.
nice.
Yeah, till they bust me up to the rehab
Nice.
facility.
Nice. Wow.
So, yeah, that
That's
was
so
like,
cool. Thanks for sharing
yeah,
that.
of course. I think that moment, that's the changing moment to then that brought me to having a child. And then that was like the next defining moment in life of where are you going to go now? 'Cause now
Yeah.
you have someone you have to show.
Right.
You have to teach them that what you have inside of you, that grit, that determination, like, can you replicate that in someone else? So now it's that fun moment of getting to teach my kid how to interact with the world, and hoping at times I can shield him from some of the pain that I had to feel, but also knowing like if he does hit that, at least he has someone to come back to that's been in those shoes before, that has walked in it and has seen it happen.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's
Yeah, of
really
course.
cool. The next question has to do, I'm a coach.
Hmm.
I love to coach people and help them change and improve and find new direction and a new course and a new outcome. Not everybody has had a coach or a
Hmm.
spiritual director, but most of us have had people in our lives that paid attention, right? That saw us and were willing to, help shape who we've become. And I wonder
Hmm.
if there's anyone like that in your life story.
I wouldn't say it would. I could define it as to like one person. I think throughout each portion of my story, there was someone put there at a certain time
Hmm, cool.
that helped me kind of walk through.
Yeah.
I would say early on, so I wasn't always in sales. When I first started sales, it was a lot of myself kind of pushing myself through the things. Then my younger brothers started seeing it, and they would kind of give me applause and be like, "Doing good. We see what's happening."
Yeah.
Um, and then from there, as I moved to my other sales roles that I've had in the past, like it was always someone at the top of that company that had seen me and was like, "We see you." And I
Mm.
think when you hear that, it's different.
Oh, that's
Like,
cool.
and it's kind of like, "Hey, we know who you are. Like, your name travels through these ears in this office."
Oh, that's
And when I
awesome.
hear that, it's like, "Oh man, that's awesome." And so like that that's why I think it's never really like one. I've never had like a coach or a mentor or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think it's just always been like random people kind of
Yeah.
dispersed throughout my life that have always just kind of like been like, "Oh, no, we see you here.
Right.
We see you there." And then it's weird cuz like those people always kind of like you realize like those conversations you don't really have them as much anymore, or at least I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Man, you were really just here for like that one season and now
Yeah.
it's not needed anymore. Now it's someone else that took that place."
Yeah. Interesting. That's really interesting. Okay. Well, I've been trying to develop my podcast more into something that
Mm.
leans into the sales process. And I wonder if, as a professional salesperson, you would talk about a part of the sales process that you feel like you understand well, you're doing it good, and you would be able to like teach it.
Mhm.
Like, what would you tell a young salesperson out there who's getting started that you want them to like emulate you?
First off, don't give up. Sales is not easy. And the first step in sales is longevity. The longer you're in it, the easier it becomes, the more your business grows. I think a lot of people kind of jump into sales and they expect that $1 million close, for example, in the first month or two, and they get a couple small ones and they're like, I'm not a fan, and then they kind of dip.
Yeah.
I've seen that in with multiple companies I've worked for,
Yeah.
where people are expecting that quick pay.
Yeah.
Like it's a get rich quick scheme, which
Yeah.
it's not.
Hey, I wanted to stop this video and just say a lot of salespeople I know, they know there's another level. They know the product, they like the people, they really believe in what they sell. But when the pressure hits, a lot of salespeople, they lose their conviction, they lose their nerve, they hesitate on cold outreach, they lay down or even back off with a simple objection. They fail to confidently lead people towards a decision. I coach salespeople. Send me a quick text 509-999-3305. I'm in your corner. Let's get together.
I think I'm on my fourth sales role in kind of different industries. I've moved different industries, and with this one, I'll be on my third year next month. And I definitely say like the first year was grind of going in, walking into every place, introducing yourself, playing the new guy card as long as you can, because everyone likes the new guy
Uh-huh.
because they don't think you know anything. But if you
Ah,
play that new guy card 2 years in, but you know everything, like now you're a little bit higher up on that scale of like, oh.
interesting. The new guy card, huh? I never heard that one.
Yeah, so I like playing the new guy card as long as you can. And then, it's kind of like just continuously going back. When someone tells you no the first time, that's not no forever.
Right.
Um, and I think that's the biggest thing is like for people who are experienced and seasoned sales reps, the rejection and the no's to them, it's exciting to them. It is for me. When I get a no or I get to the closing point and they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to move forward." I'm like, "Great. Awesome. We'll chat in a couple months or whatever it may be, whatever they tell me, and I'll follow up with you." Now I go outside and I've got this big smile on my face and people are like, "Why are you so happy? They just told you no." Like, "Well, I'm one step closer to someone who's saying yes.
Yeah.
Now I just got the no's out of the way. Now I'm going to go get that yes
Yeah.
because it's out there somewhere. I just got to find them."
Yeah.
And so, when I hear the no's, it's like, oh, okay. Well, the yes might be one door across the street.
Right.
So I'm going to go to that one. And then
That's
eventually
so
your no is
good.
going to turn to yes.
That is so good. Man, I tell you, if you're a salesperson out there
Mhm.
and you're hearing this for the first time, this is so good. This is so good. I mean, and I think that we think for some reason like everybody's going to say yes, and when they
Mhm.
say no, it's going to be easy, but no, it's hard. You
Mhm.
have to have a mental sort of place where you go that says this is good. Like
Mhm.
I'm happy regardless of whether you say yes. I heard Alex Hormozy say um he just loves it when people say no. When they
Mhm.
really can definitively say, "I'm out. I'm not interested. I'll move on to the next one." But I'm gonna keep going until I know for a fact that this is not a client. I just need a decision, one way or the other. I
Mhm.
can move on as soon as you get a real decision. I'll get past all the fake objections, and then when we
Yep.
get to the real decision, I can move on. He considers it a win.
Mhm.
Like, give me the real decision.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's kind of like, every now and then I'll listen to Kobe Bryant, kind of
Yeah.
some of his old videos.
Yeah.
And he even talks about it. They asked him, like, what are you going to do now after a loss that he took? It's like, I'm going to go research this loss just as much as I do the wins,
Yeah.
because I
Practice
have as much to learn from a loss as I do a
more.
win,
More.
if not more. Right. So
More.
it's like,
You
I'm going to
always learn
go.
more when you lose.
True.
Dude, forever.
Sometimes when you win too, you learn. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you got to look back, and I think dissecting wins and losses is great. Like,
Yeah.
how did I pull this one out?
Yeah.
What did I do good in? What could I have done better in a win?
Yeah.
Like,
Do
people
you ever
sometimes.
journal your sales meetings?
Yes, like, I'll kind of notate everything. Like, if I'm not notating it during the meeting, I'll just do
Okay.
a verbal kind of dump into my
Yeah.
notes section after. And then I could also just go back in text messages to, like, my
Yeah.
wife, and I'm like, this meeting was awesome. Here's
I
what
know, right?
or I'll, like, text my manager after I leave a meeting, and I'm like, you won't guess what just
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, in the coaching process that we went through, they encouraged us to journal after the fact
Mm-hmm.
and use a win, WIN. What did you do well? What could you improve, and what will you do next time? Just journal, just a few things, not really but just to write it down. Like, okay, and then you start to see patterns. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
always seeing a pattern. I wasn't doing, this or that, follow-up questions, clarifying questions, things like that. But it's so helpful to just write down what you think you did really well, what you need to improve on, what would you do next time. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about your company. What do you sell? What's the customer, the product, the pain point?
So I work for Spot On, and we are a restaurant operating system. So we do your restaurant software all the way down to the hardware, the POS system. And I love it. Like I said, I've almost been here 3 years. And I work with a portfolio of between, I think we're 60 to 70 restaurants already. I span from Eastern Washington to Central Idaho over into the Bozeman Billings area of Montana. So pretty wide territory. Um, and really all I'm looking to do is just help restaurants kind of fix operations, make more money, increase their profits, and then we give them software that helps bring in more customers, and easier software for employees. So
Okay.
there's a lot of things that we do on their end that make their job easier.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
I just get to work with restaurants.
Nice.
It's great.
What's your favorite part of the job?
Meeting the restaurant owners, I'd
Yeah.
probably say.
Yeah.
Like, so for anyone who's not in that realm, like, you go to a restaurant, you sit down, you have a great meal, you might have a great drink, and you're like, man, this is great. And then you come back and you're constantly going, but there's one thing: you've never met the brains behind that.
Yeah.
I get to meet the brains behind that restaurant. I get
Nice.
to meet the owner who kind of created that idea, birthed it, and then the chef who's in the back that's
Right.
making that dream
Do
happen.
you actually
every
get to
day.
meet chefs? And are you
Mhm.
kind of a foodie now?
Yeah, I'm a little bit. It's
Nice.
funny because I just started, like, getting back in the gym and everything months ago, so I'm on that plan. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, now I have to strategize when I can eat at the restaurants and when I can't.
Okay. Nice.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's great. Like, meeting all the different people that work in those restaurants, like the chefs. I mean, most people aren't never meet them, so
Yeah.
it's great to be able to talk to them, kind of see what they're doing, what they're cooking up.
Okay.
Work with a lot of breweries too, so it's always nice to hear like,
Nice.
what are you doing? What recipes are you working on?
Uh-huh.
And see what they're
Cool.
pumping out, and yeah.
So you said earlier that you have a big referral sort of network of people that refer clients to you. Let's say there's someone out here watching and they have friends in the restaurant business. How would they get a hold of you if there's a restaurant owner out there? He's like, "Hey, I live in that area. I want to meet this guy. I want him to come out." Do you just have to work in this area? If someone up in Alaska owns a restaurant and they happen to see it, or Spain
Referral
or
base,
something like that?
referral base, I can go anywhere on that. So if anyone sees this, like, I need this for my restaurant, I can help you out.
Okay.
And then it's just easy for me. It's a phone call. I'll get my number to you, so
Well,
can
we'll
post
just
out
put it
there.
right here if you
Yeah.
just say it.
So 509-995-3147.
Okay.
And then the email is just jeremiah.diverna@spoton.com.
Okay.
You can also find me on social media, all of those on Instagram, Facebook, just Jeremiah Diverna.
Okay.
But yeah, that'd be the easiest way. And then the cool thing is, like, obviously with Spot On, one of the biggest things, we like to help restaurants, so we always like to help give back too. So anyone who gives a referral or gets into our referral program, you refer a business, they sign up with Spot On, they get activated, installed, then they will pay you out $1,000 referral bonus. Same thing goes to the restaurant. The restaurant activates, they get installed, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is great! I got to get my friend down the road on this." We can do the same thing for them. We'll kick them out $1,000
Nice.
too.
So if you know someone that owns a restaurant and they're not really satisfied with their technology, call Jeremiah. His number will be right here the whole time during the video. What are you looking forward to in the new year? What's hopeful for you? What's looking good? 2026.
Oh, man, 2026 already has been a whirlwind.
Yeah.
It's started hot. It's still hot, which is nice. So business is good.
Good.
Obviously this year has been a lot of growth in like where I work with the company. So Montana was added this year.
Oh, okay.
I haven't always done that, so that's been a lot of fun, kind of, getting to add a new portion of the US into my market, and going down to Montana. And then right now, kind of looking forward to hitting top 10 again in Spot On.
Okay.
Want to finish the year in the top 10%. And then right now I'm trending that way. And then just kind of, I will hit my 1-year anniversary with my wife in September. My kid turns 4, so a lot of family things. Good events. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good times.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on my podcast. Again, my name's Alec with Coaching the Redline. If you know someone in sales that might be interested in coming on my podcast and talking to me about coaching, I'd love an introduction. If you like the podcast, give me a thumbs up and maybe a comment. That's all for now. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.